Hello everyone. We are here today doing a ministry minute with our youth director. Would you tell the audience what your name is and what your role is in Minnesota Conference?
My name is Shalina Bonjour, and I'm the youth director here at Minnesota Conference. This is my third year doing ministry in this way, and I'm in charge of the youth department that includes camp ministries and club ministries and different activities like that.
So as a youth director, do you work with kindergarten all the way to young adults?
You know, one of the things I love about our conference is that we work together in a lot of different ways. So actually, the education department and I have a lot of overlap where we work with some of the same groups as well as family ministries and those things. Areas that I look at are the Pathfinders and Adventure programs. And actually, Darnisha, she does children's ministries, and Sean Lee, he does young adult ministries, but I connect with both of them and get to do stuff with youth ministries and camp in that process.
Good. We will look at the children ministry next and maybe adult ministry too. So how does North Star fit into your ministry and your calendar?
You know, summer camp is a huge part of what I get to be involved in. I'm actually physically up at camp for about 3 months out of the year, but really camp is at least 50% of my time. When we go to the recruiting for camp staff, hiring camp staff, putting together the programming, the cleaning up part of it, and just managing that resource. But camp doesn't stop when I'm not there. The summer camp program, we have 7 weeks of camp, and I'm so blessed. But the space is open 3 seasons. Really, there's men's retreats that happen up there, outdoor school, and actually Randy Stroud and his wife Angie do a lot to make sure that space is all ready for people and working with bookings, but North Star Camp is a place of ministry and service throughout the year. And I'm excited that we get to use it for summer camp. It's a beautiful space and been lots of great remodels. If you haven't been up there recently, the Welcome Center was just put in 2 years ago, and a lodge about 5 or 6 years back, and new cabins. And this year we even redid the field, so it's a beautiful, flat new field, and we did that because there wasn't as many people running around during the COVID season. So lots of beautiful things happening on campus.
So let's make the assumption that it's a full summer and everyone is around.
Yes.
What kind of activities do you have? You are right on the lake. Do they have many games on the lake? You have horses. What do you do? Give us a full outline.
Let me tell you what camp is amazing. You know, people come for the activities. We have so much crammed into a week. Kids sign up for 2 classes, and they get to grow in those areas. So water is one of our best, most loved things because we have miles and miles of lakefront. Being on Rice Lake and connecting to the Mississippi River, pretty much you can just go for water forever. And so banana boating and water skiing and wake surfing and tubing and all of those things are very loved. But we also have our own herd of horses, and those are on campus year-round. We've got rock climbing and archery, art and nature and sports, canoeing, and we bring people back again to the water with the swimming and the different areas there. So when kids come to camp, they have 2 classes that they pick in the morning, and then in the afternoon their whole cabin rotates through to do everything. So you get a chance to, they'll play frisbee golf, and then the whole group will get a chance to go rock climbing. And maybe that's not something they were comfortable with or would have chosen, but it grows everyone's comfort zone, and maybe they find a new hobby that they love, or maybe something like that.
That's exciting.
But really, the activities and the outdoor piece is really just one of the keys that make North Star so cool. Really, we open every morning with Camp Council, which is our worship time, and we do things from funny skits to worship music to asking kids to share about what God is doing in their life. And then at night we do play and tell through story form what God is doing. And we see lots of lives changed and touched as people come into connection with the story of God who loves them, and caring mentors and people that are excited about Jesus. One of my favorite things is campers say, I don't sing at my home church, but I come to North Star and I sing. Or, it's cool to love Jesus here, and that's a great atmosphere to be a part of.
That's good. This may not be a very easy question to answer. How many kids come to camp and then give themselves to Jesus Christ? Then how do you transfer them into their home churches?
Really, camp is evangelism, and that is huge and a huge part of what we do. We've been averaging about 300 kids a summer. We're looking to continue building that number, but when you think about 300 kids at camp for 7 days, you know how much time we get to share and speak Jesus into them. Friday night is a chance where, while we've been building all week, and we ask people to make little decisions for Jesus, we always give people an opportunity to say, what are you willing to give your life to God? And we give them different choices, much like a decision card. Do you want to get baptized? Do you want to connect with your home church? Do you want to live for Jesus? Do you want to grow for Jesus? And really, some sort of decision gets made by almost 2/3 of the kids that attend. And some of them, this is just one part of their spiritual journey. They've been growing in church school, they've been growing in their Sabbath school, they've been growing in their Pathfinder program, and this is just another spiritual place where they get to say, I'm going to live for Jesus. But some people, they don't have a spiritual background, and they don't have a home where they pray regularly, and their counselor was one of the first people to ask them, do you want to pray about that? And so we get people from all backgrounds. We follow up those decisions by sending them to the home church where they're located. Good. If they're not currently members of a home church, or they didn't suggest that, we send their interest card to the person that is most geographically close to them. So we sit and figure out, okay, well, that church is the closest driving distance to them, so this would be the best reach out. And we follow that up and pass that on to the pastors, because they can continue to do that ministry. We want to put I love seeing baptisms at camp. And sometimes kids choose to come back and say, I want my whole church family to come to camp and be a part of this and see me get baptized. Last summer we had 3 baptisms at camp.
Wow.
But usually the baptisms happen in the home church because they're a large part of their church experience, and we're just one time where they made a choice for Jesus. And it's great to be a part of that journey and to have people come to know God. And it's a great space to do that.
That's wonderful. It's amazing what you can do with young people in 1 week. Leading them to Christ is, I think, a very profound way of doing ministry, especially when you do ministry with activities.
It's amazing how much more receptive you are to learning about Jesus when you have to trust. Yes, this rope is going to hold me. Yes, this low ropes, I learn. I need to not take my eyes off Jesus. It's a great lead-in.
That's good. As we wrap up the program, what activities do you want the audience, the church at large, to bear in mind going forward as we run towards the end of the year?
I would say right now one of the highlights in the youth program is we just kicked off registration season for Pathfinders and Adventurers. Those club ministries are a key part of what happens because they're very intentional about building a discipleship program and a mentorship in the churches. And because that mentorship is not just once in a while hit and miss, it's a group of adults that are saying, we want to help teach our kids skills, a lot like camp. You see some of those things. They get their honors for learning things. But also, we want to teach them the Bible. We want to teach them our beliefs and have a time and structure to do that. So we have a registration season where we encourage churches to get on board. We give them support and materials, and really it's our way of helping coordinate and launching this ministry in the home churches. Pathfinders and Adventures is some of the most resourced youth materials we have in our churches. And so it's a great way for any church to get involved. So if your church doesn't have a current Pathfinder or Adventurer program, why not start one this year? A great way to be involved with that group. And if you only have a few kids, it's a great way to be involved in bringing people from the community as well.
Good. We just talked to our youth director here, Pastor Shalina Bonjour. You can connect with her, with the North Star Camp, with Pathfinders and Adventurer Clubs. You can go to our Minnesota Conference website, look for Youth Ministry, and we hope that you will have a ministry for your young people in the church. God bless you, everyone.